But the issue is this: accountability, holding some people has been lacking in terms of what really goes wrong. And I give you an example, Mr. Speaker. Over the period of time that we have had issues on the plateau, just of recent, the DSS, I read somewhere, I stumbled on it. They did an excellent job arresting some people right from here, from Gwagwalada. Those who are supplying arms, to this moment, nobody has been prosecuted. And that brings back to the issue of accountability. Somebody must be held responsible. Heads must roll. Any attempt to run away from that, we are just doing politics. And playing politics with lives of Nigerians, I think it's a wake-up call. Your statement is a wake-up call. And what is happening in other African countries, particularly what happened in Kenya, we should not deceive ourselves. Let us not allow the people out there to come and chase us out here. I think we have a lot to offer, and we should be seen to be doing a lot for this country. The country has done more than sufficient for us. For you to be here as a member of parliament is sufficient grace. There are more than 200 million Nigerians out there. The Dangotes, the Obas, the Emirs cannot come here until you suspend your rule. It means then we have a favor. And that favor should be converted, should be utilized in the interest of our nation, just like we sought to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I just want House, if they may be interested, to know that the 30 young men who lost their lives ranges between the ages of 35 downward, including teenagers and infants, celebrating wedding ceremony of their friend in a public place close to a public park, just to intensify and tell the whole House the degree of the loss Nigerians recorded just on Saturday, 29th day. Secondly, in addition to the 30, more than 136 people are critically injured and are receiving treatment in various hospitals in Maiduguri. Thirdly, I want us to know that the suicide bombers, after identifying their faces, it was discovered that they were recruited, they were drugged, they were brainwashed, and they were imported to come to Gaza from somewhere to cause this issue. They came in uniform, what is normally called in the northern part of Nigeria anko. They are wearing the same color of uniform. So it's a wake-up call for everybody in the country. If you see this kind of thing, they are more or less security threat. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we cannot continue to be complacent. Complacency is one of the reasons why this thing happened in my constituency. Complacency on the part of the people and complacency on the part of the security agencies. Simply because the terrorists left northeast to some extent or relieved northeast of their pressure and moved to north central and northwest, now our people were relaxed. The security measures we used to take for searching, screening, putting surveillances, we have relaxed that. On the part of the security agencies also, there was this kind of complacency. Terrorism is not over until when it is over. So I'm using this opportunity to inform our colleagues, this is the situation we have, and our security agencies, as well as our citizens, must stand up to their obligations to prevent the reoccurrence of this event everywhere in the country. Thank you very much for supporting the motion.
Thank you very much. It's actually a very important issue in this country, and I think we'll get one or two contributions on that, even though our order paper is filled up. But I was shocked when I heard this news. I was in South Africa attending the African Union Parliament, and it came as a shock, and I'm sure it shocked a lot of Nigerians when innocent people were slaughtered the way they were. Let me give the first opportunity to Dasuke.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, in April this year, the National Security Advisor was also in Sokoto, and he was talking about the same issue, that the president deliberately chose Northerners to head the defense and security agencies. Where am I heading to, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues? In the last 1 year that we got inaugurated into this House, there is one too many. Mr. Speaker, I think it's high time. We've had jailbreaks, nobody has been sacked. People are killed, nobody has been sacked. It's high time we find somebody responsible. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, if we don't take any action, it's almost 15 years. And this House that we pride, which I believe we are, the House of the people, the earlier we look for scapegoats, which are justifiable, these guys have not lived up to expectations. The president has said, I've given Northerners this position to defend, your people. That is what he said practically. So now, every single day, we have a minimum of 3 security-related motions and lives are gone. So I think it's high time we come here as a resolution, have as a resolution, because we have a lot of these resolutions. I think more than 50% of the resolutions of the 10th Assembly are security-related. So let's find culprits. We have our committees that are living up to expectations. They can research this. They can look at those that have not done what is expected from them, and somebody should be held responsible so that those that are coming behind, we know that if you don't do what is expected from you, then you are going to get out of where you are. And on that note, I might propose that, look, we can call on the president to sack all security political appointees. All political appointees, 10 months. All of them have been in office for 10 months. Even if you are given a job, you have a probation of 10 months. If you're not living up to expectation, you don't get your confinement after 1 year. So political appointees, security-wise, all of them, they can get fired. And those that can live up to expectations should come over. And every now and then, we have this debate here. 1, 2, 3 months, if this continues and they know that you are not living up to expectation, are going to get sacked, tendency of sitting down and doing what is expected will be there. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, is the issue of welfare of members of the armed forces. I think while we are hitting on them at the same time, or member of security-related agencies, we have to look at the welfare of those that are there on a daily basis, day and night, to make sure that we sleep with our 2 eyes closed. I think the committees have enough motions or resolutions to look at. Let's look at their welfare. Is it commensurate to what they are doing? So, honorable colleagues, Mr. Speaker, this is my little contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well spoken. I must say that's okay, well spoken, and passionately so. As a true Nigerian, it's very clear whether it's happening in the north or south or west or east, it's Nigeria. It's Nigeria. And until we come to a point where a pain in the north is a pain in the south, and a pain in the south is a pain in the north, we are not yet Nigerians. Our being true citizens of this country reflects on how we share this burden together. It's painful. And I share in the pain of those from the affected states. It's not only in the north. Just 2 days ago or 3 days ago, policemen were shot again in Abia State for doing nothing at their duty posts. So it's a national issue. And this calls for concern, especially for the heads of the committees in charge of the security agencies. I hope we are doing the right oversight. I hope we are doing the right oversight. That is the duty of Parliament. That's the duty of Parliament. Our duty is not to be friends with those we are oversighting. Our duty is to put our feet down on behalf of Nigerians and make sure that they get their job done well and make them accountable. It's our duty as Parliament. Anything short of that is unparliamentary. I want to hear more people discuss this. Let's hear from Jimmy, the Chairman Defense.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I remain Baba Jimmy Benson. I represent the very good people of the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, it is indeed a sad day. The crime was heinous. It was barbaric, to say the least. Our youth from 35 and below were killed by a heinous and dastardly act by a suicider. Thank God, Honorable Jara told us the post-intelligence report. He said that the perpetrators were all dressed in what is called ANCO uniform. They knew where they came from. this same post-intelligence that was gathered after the Dastardly Act. My surprise is that, or my urge, or my request, is that we should put all hands on deck, that the all-society approach strategy should be used to detect these type of actions before they happen. That is why I would always suggest that the committee which you chair on constitutional review should please prioritize state police. The amount of men and women we have in uniform is not commensurate to the amount of men we need to have. We need to recruit as many people as possible. These young people that are unemployed can find solace and hope in being in one state, in a state police, a local government police arrangement. We need to put them into the formal system so that they get jobs that are pensionable. They begin to have hope for a better tomorrow. Why do our youth get indoctrinated? They get indoctrinated because there's no hope, there's no job. But we have the capacity to absorb as many of them as possible. Mr. Speaker, you're chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Reform. Please, let's expedite this. The only way we can eradicate insecurity is if we give hope to our teeming youth. There's a nexus between insecurity and development.
Well said. And I can assure you the Committee on Constitutional Review is prioritizing security-related bills before us, and we are pushing it. And with your support, I'm sure we'll be able to plug that as one of the solutions to this hydra-headed problem.
That's my name. I represent Panshinkanki Kanam Federal Constituency, and I'm from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, from your voice, the voice of the motion mover and the contributors, it speaks volume that what is happening is not palatable, because you speak with emotions and humility, and I'm going to tow that perspective. I have one thing to say. Complacency that the motion mover did mention in the part of the community, the people, in the part of the of the security agency, and I will add in the part of the government. Why did I say this, Mr. Speaker? We are here to represent Nigerians. From the inception of insecurity problem in Nigeria, I cannot see a clear deterrent that was served on any person that attacks on people of Nigeria was meted as a result of his complacency. Until and unless we begin to hold people responsible and accountable, people will be posted to particular areas and the people of that area's lives are not being protected. And you cannot hear, like it happened during military juntas, that someone is called to account for neglecting his responsibility that led to a particular act. Government must try to call people accountable for that. Then, Mr. Speaker, security expert knows that solving security problem is not equally about the holding of bombs or AK-47 by the security agencies against these infidels. So it has to do with the economic standard living condition of the people. Government must equally centralize its energies and actions on improving the welfare and the standard living condition of the people. The Almajiris on the streets that turn to be what they are, and a lot of people that have no access to other amenities by government, state government, local government, and federal government. When we improve that, it goes a long way with solving security problem. Finally, Mr. Speaker, my little adjustment is this. I don't think the security apparatus is being charged by a particular region, like my brother Dasuki did say. The Inspector General of Police is not from northern Nigeria. The Chief of Army Staff is not from northern Nigeria. So this thing, we must discuss it as Nigerians, and we must equally, like you did say, security-related committee must live up to their expectation by calling the agencies they are superintending and conducting oversight under to account for what they are doing, that the breakdown in law and order must come to an end. As a National Assembly, oversight this agency the way you advise that we should oversight, not make them our friends, not make them our enemy, but make them the agency that we superintend over and bring constructive findings on this hallowed chamber for us to debate on. I am sure every head of security agency would live up to expectation. But I support my brother Dasuki too, that we cannot continue to keep people in position where they are incapacitated, where they cannot discharge their responsibility. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. I actually like it when we have time to deliberate on issues like this so that the content of what the parliament is made of is shown in the quality of debate that you have given so far. And I hope as time goes on, we'll have less on our other paper to allow you ventilate on issues of national importance. That is the reason why we are here. Not for the titles, not for all the things that comes with the office, but to represent those people who are not, who doesn't have voice, who are voiceless. And the debate has been going in a manner that reflects our true patriotism for this country. Let me hear the former Deputy Speaker of this great House.
The Speaker, respected colleagues, I want to thank you for the opportunity given to me to add my voice on the current debate. First, to pay my condolences to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, my brother, Honorable Jaha, the people of Borno State, for the loss of these very great men and women, children, infants that we have recorded so far. And not only in those areas, like my brother did mention, Katsina, I heard of it last week. There was something between Sapele and Kaduna, almost every part of this country. And that's why I want to appreciate what my brother, Honorable Gagdi mentioned. And what you mentioned, I was humbled by the tune of your own contribution while sitting on the chair, that we should discuss as Nigerians, that we should do away with what is called regional. And that's what is dividing us more instead of integrating us. And as far as I'm concerned, this matter of security is for all of us. It's about the entirety of the nation. There's no part of this country that is safe. And we should not pretend to this. And I want to thank you very much for charging us, those of us who are chairman of committee, to live up to our own responsibility, to be members of parliament, that we will speak to the people, for the people, and on behalf of the people, and speak for ourselves. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. My brother on Tajuddin, the other time, mentioned about the welfare, what is being done in advanced country, as he was also a former ex-service person in that particular community, U.S. Army particularly. Of course, welfare is something we should speak about. But I want to believe, too, that there are some nitty-gritties that we do not have to come to the floor of the House to begin to mention. Even the information divulged to us that they came in uniform. You are also alerting them in one way or the other that this other one has been discovered, and they will go to do another device. And I do not want us to always be emotional on issues like this. But let's be factual. The emotional could come only in executive sessions. As we get emotional, we always divulge the strategy and discoveries, and by one way or the other, we are sabotaging the efforts of the security agents. And by implication, escalating what is going on. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, I think the security agencies are doing more than sufficient, particularly, and I believe you are reading your reports, the Department of the State Security Service. But the issue is this: accountability, holding some people has been lacking in terms of what really goes wrong. And I give you an example, Mr. Speaker. over the period of time that we have had issues on the plateau, just of recent. The DSS, I read somewhere, I stumbled on it. They did an excellent job, arrested some people right from here, from Gwagwalada. Those who are supplying arms to this moment, nobody has been prosecuted. And that brings back to the issue of accountability. Somebody must be held responsible. Heads must roll. Any attempt to run away from that, we are just doing politics. And playing politics with lives of Nigerians, I think it's a wake-up call. Your statement is a wake-up call. And what is happening in other African countries, particularly what happened in Kenya, we should not deceive ourselves. Let us not allow the people out there to come and chase us out here. I think we have a lot to offer, and we should be seen to be doing a lot for this country. The country has done more than sufficient for us. For you to be here as a member of parliament is sufficient grace. There are more than 200 million Nigerians out there. The Dangotes, the Obas, the Emirs cannot come here until you suspend your rule. It means then we have a favor. And that favor should be converted, should be utilized in the interest of our own nation, just like we sought to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.